Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Knuckles the Killer here, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Knuckles Chaotix for the Sega 32X, also known in the European version, it's like the Mega Drive 32X or something like that. So either way, yeah, last time we have managed to able to wrap things up in Speed Slider Zone, and as well as we did manage to, hopefully, we did finally manage to finish up with the worst zone in the whole game, which is of course Amazing Arena, and also we did manage to tackle through the third act in Techno Tower. And today for this episode is the fact that this might actually be the true finale of this game's Let's Play, and because of that though, we'll hopefully try to mainly focusing on the final two acts in Techno Tower, which is Act 4 and eventually Act 5, and then hopefully we'll try to beat up the forms of the next boss fight as well. So hopefully we should be able to make it work out to be, and as you can see on screen, we are now going to be playing as Charmy B, which I know we haven't exactly played as Charmy B for quite a long while now. That's only because of how the fact that I just want to save him for last, because, you know, he's pretty much broken, basically, because I said this before, he never gets tired, and plus, as a result, he can able to actually go anywhere when it comes to that. And also, there's one thing I should probably mention is the fact that if you don't collect all of the Chaos Rings, this is the final attempt you can able to actually get the Chaos Rings for the Special Stages department. And then, once you're done with that, however, though, well, seemingly to say is the fact that one thing I should probably mention about this as well, that in every single Act 5s, you can't able to actually access to Special Stages, of course, because, you know, it actually contains the boss fight at the end. So either way, though, that's something's worth mentioning. So either way though, and well, seemingly to say, we are now moving on to the final act in Techno Tower, and once we're done with that, then we can able to get into the final part of the whole entire game, which is of course not only, well, I'll explain more on that later. So either way, onwards to Techno Tower for the fifth and the final time. Hopefully we should able to actually make our way there a lot easier with Charmy, because, you know, he was actually really broken, and plus because of how the fact that, well, as you can tell, we now ended up in the daytime version of that specific level, so everything else is all bright and cheery and stuff like that. So, but either way though, something's worth to clarify for something like that, so. But anywho though, today's day is of course the 30th of December today, in this case in 2020, so in this case we've only got about 2 more days left until eventually 2020 will be finished and over with, because, you know, I'll get into more final details onto that whenever we get onto the extra video, which should be up until tomorrow, in this case the final day of 2020, as you guys should probably expect to see this one coming. So, but even then, I'll show you guys some extra bits and bobs in terms of how this game offers us to when it comes to that. So, anywho. But again, it's not much else I can really say for the most part though. It's just the fact the matter is though, is the fact that we almost at the end of this particular Let's Play basically. So even then though, we managed to able to actually point things out. And I suppose another thing I should probably point things out too, about the fact the matter is though, is the fact that the region we're going to be playing through for the emulated version of this game, I'm obviously going to be playing this on the USA version / the Japanese release of the game. Just because everything else makes things a little bit more smoother and fast and all that stuff compared to the PAL region version, because it's all like, I wouldn't say slow or floaty, but it's just the fact the matter is though, is the fact that the sound particular coding does manage to able to sound slightly off a little bit. And by the way, I love this animation. Basically, in this particular Techno Tower boss fight, as you can see right here, is the fact that the actual tower part is now usually attached to the actual Techno Tower, and the entire portion of this battle is pretty simple. It's the fact that we need to keep on attacking this red core, and that way you should able to deal the damage on Dr. Eggman, of course. Although sometimes though, the lag seems to able to actually make things a little bit more calming these days or something like that, so. But anywho. So anyways, once you defeat him, then, well, that pretty much takes care of the forms of Techno Tower. Now, I've no idea why it was up with that particular sprite glitch right there, but I'm guessing it's probably because it's on the emulator or something like that. I don't know. And of course, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing this particular stuff like this now, because we, as I said before, we have pretty much wrapped things up with every single zones in this game, so it's just a matter of the fact that we can now able to deal with the final frontier of, you know, Knuckles' Chaotix game as a result of this particular stuff. And, let's just say we'll grab, Knuckles here, in this case the main, you know, the main character of the game, which, even then though, yeah. And as you can see, this is the final time we're going to be seeing the Kami Catcher sequence right here, because, obviously, since how the fact that we basically done with that now, so even then though, let's go in here, and, well, every single levels is done. And, what the heck? Is that Metal Sonic? Okay, I see how this goes. So yeah, basically we have ourselves the first final boss, which appears to be body forms of Metal Sonic himself, and the entire objective, as you can see on screen, we need to directly let the actual thing land onto its X mark, because if you somehow manage to able to get right onto the X mark, this means you're able to actually just to destroy some segments of this particular fight. However though, I think you only have no rings on this particular phase, up until whenever we get onto the true final boss here, that, even though we'll get to more on that later, because for now, we need to avoid a lot of those, crazy contraptions, as you can see right here. Mainly, for instance, for example, that, I'm pretty sure in the second, if it goes like number 2, as you can see, it gets like this little, stretchy kind of Metroid kind of types like this, and also because of how the fact that, well, in, you know, if you manage to land on the X, then obviously it will destroy one of those contraptions, as you can tell. However though, if you do somehow manage to land on one, basically you would be able to actually just, well, get the actual spiked walls and stuff like that, which as far as I'm usually concerned for that fact. And, also, if you somehow manage to able to, yeah, as you can see on phase 1, or if you manage to get onto 1, basically it just gets like, you know, the actual spiked wall, and you're gonna have to avoid that. And then in number 2, as I said before, it's all about just, you know, the actual Metroid kind of looking to it that you have to avoid. And if it reaches to number 4, which he actually gets like some sort of like a saw blades. And I'm pretty sure for number 3 though, I haven't really looked upon that much of number 3 to be honest with you, because it's all about luck elements as well, don't forget, if you know, with that particular bumpy looking thing that we have to keep on destroying, and as a result, just keep on hitting at it, and as a result, you're going to be spending a lot of time just trying to able to actually just directly trying to hit the X mark, as you can see right there. We always keep on hitting number 2 for some reason. But anyway, so after when you're able to actually, I'm assuming if you're trying to able to take down all of these panels, then you would able to actually move on to the true final battle in the whole entire game. So, but either way though, we'll able to actually mention more on that whenever we get onto that. But if you're somehow able to actually just to somehow die during this battle, well, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the battle again, so something's worth mentioning. So anyways, let's go ahead and keep on dodging that particular Metroid spiky stuff once again. Seriously, it always reminds me of these Metroids for some reason from the, well, the Metroid series basically. But I digress. So anyways, come on. Oh, really? But then again though, much like actually access to these other zones in this game, it's the fact that it's all about luck, really. So either way though, we'll just gonna have to leave it to that. Of course, using Charming on this battle will be pretty broken, as you can see, because you can able to avoid a lot of those crazy contraptions already. But if you somehow manage to able to utilize other characters in general, then it'll make things a little bit difficult for us. So, and if you think he's actually done, well, it turns out Dr. Eggman's going to use his particular power ring, and that way you're able to actually make Metal Sonic a little bit more powerful by creating... What the heck is all this? Anyways folks, here's the true final boss of this game, known as Metal Sonic Kai. And the reason why I'm saying Metal Sonic Kai, because, well, first of all, he looks incredibly intimidating, And second is the fact that if you think he was actually colored red, which may actually represent Knuckles, but it turns out that most people seem to always call him, you know, Metal Sonic Kai, because he's, you know, the much more advanced version of Metal Sonic himself. Even though that was before when Sonic Heroes came around, that he somehow transformed into the forms of Metal Madness, in this case Metal Overlord. But in this game in particular, they did manage to able to actually have more powers for Metal Sonic or something. So, but either way though, it might not be that challenging though, but as you can see, I just keep on getting hit most of the time with Charmy B's Broken Flight, and as a result, because sometimes it actually gives me a lot of hits. However though, if you think this battle will be a little bit tougher, but I actually have to admit though, this boss is pretty easy though, assuming if you're able to try to time your jumps or what have you, but most of the time though, it's the fact that sometimes you get hit a lot. And also because every time when you start the battle, it actually gives you 10 rings instead of 0 rings, unlike the ones how it does in the previous Sonic games. Specifically Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Sonic 1 on the Game Gear, as well as Sonic 2 on the Game Gear as well. Normally because of how the fact that they might actually up for the challenge. But in this particular final boss encounter is the fact that obviously you have 10 rings for starters. So you know. And of course we go on to this last phase as you can see, but we have to be able to avoid that laser beam, very similar to the ones in the Death Egg Zone boss from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And the more you hit the actual core parts, well, that's how you're able to do for that particular battle. Even though sometimes that's I always like to be, well, lose control of myself for this particular thing. But if you somehow deal enough damage on Metal Sonic Kai, well, in addition to that, if you manage to get all 6 Chaos Rings, then this will actually happen. Cool. And then, in addition to that, we also get ourselves a special credit sequence, which not only contains the familiar 5 main characters, but also, as you can see, Sonic and Tails managed to appear, which seems pretty odd to able to actually let them appear at the end of the game, which is kind of weird, honestly. So either way, though, if you really want to get yourselves the best ending, well, more power to you, but I don't think there's anything special about it. It's just the fact of the matter is, though, is the fact that all you get is just the entire Carnival Island, as you can see in the background, and then the 5 main characters are usually doing the exact same animation as in the title screen. In addition to that, we also have Sonic and Tails managed to ride on a tornado, you know, very similar to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So, but, you know, you get the idea for that solution right here, so. And let's talk about my final thoughts of Knuckles Chaotix before we move on to the extra video until tomorrow. I will say though, this game is pretty okay. I mean, not my favorite Sonic game in the world. I mean, still, that honor goes to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, mind you. But here's some good things about the game, what I honestly think I should definitely recommend. The soundtrack is so good, and especially noticeable because of the most popular song of them all is of course Door into Summer, and also I do enjoy several zones, most notably with of course Speed Slider, most likely because it's all fast and more exhilarating, and also same applies to the forms of you know, Techno Tower. I always enjoyed that, despite they have some, like, pretty much unchangeable stuff. And, also, the graphics themselves really looks very impressive for the time, even for as colorful as it looks. And, the gameplay, however, though, I feel a little bit mixed back on, although, obviously, because you have to get a lot of emphasis on that ring tether, kind of mechanic. And when you get the hang of it though, it might not be so bad, but it's just the fact of the matter is though, is that sometimes your computer player AI can sometimes really mess you up with your speed downgraded, or something like that for that matter. And the story is pretty much simple stuff though, really. And controls wise, it plays pretty much exactly like how it did in the forms of the actual Mega Drive days back in the old days. However though, with more movesets that we can able to have on our disposal, then we can able to actually just, well, it's hard to explain about it sometimes, I must admit though, but anywho. But yeah, you should definitely recommend, if you're a Sonic fan, you should definitely recommend this game to try it out. I think you'd probably recommend it to play on the emulator because, well, don't waste your money trying to buy the original cartridge for it, unless if you're able to have that back in the day. But let me know in the comments below. So either way though, yeah, that pretty much takes care of this video right here. So join me tomorrow for more of Let's Play of Knuckles Chaotix. It's the fact that we'll show you guys some extra stuff of how this game offers us to, and eventually 2020 will be soon and done and over with. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later, fellas.